This episode is sponsored by SmartVestor. Connect with an investing pro for free at RamseySolutions.com/invest. You're listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires, where we talk investing, retirement, building wealth, and outrageous generosity.
Cecilia is in Atlanta to start off this hour. Hi, Cecilia. How are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm great. Thanks.
Good. How can we help?
So I'm interested in whether or not I should leverage equity lines for more property when I've tried to not have debt. And is that safe for investment property activity?
Okay, you realize your sentences just ran against each other, right? I mean,
that's possible.
I don't want any debt. Should I go into debt?
No.
I mean, that was what you just told me. I'm confused.
Okay. Based on there are many people buying homes and then getting lines of equity to buy additional homes as investment properties, and then they have this whole domino of their equity lines leaning on other properties. I think
you've been spending a lot of time on TikTok, haven't you?
No, I'm a realtor, and I hear other people saying this.
Yeah.
So I did.
How long have you been a realtor?
5 years.
Okay.
Love it.
Good.
So I know that you kind of had a history of being in real estate and that not eventually being good for you. And so I don't know if you're firm on that or if the current...
Real estate has been great to me. Borrowing on real estate about destroyed me. So what I did is I got caught up in the same kind of crap that's floating around out there right now. It was happening in the early 80s. Only it was a different world. Obviously, we didn't have the internet. Instead, we had these wonderful things called infomercials, where some goober is sitting by the surf selling tapes and a $3,000 weekend course on how to buy real estate, nothing down. It was the exact same crap as all over the place right now, especially on TikTok. TikTok's got a real version of it going. Okay, borrow all you can because real estate's always awesome. You're always going to make money. It's passive income, says the get-rich-quick gurus. Okay, now, I did that. I started from nothing. I was 22 years old. I got $4 million worth of real estate by the time I was 26, over $1 million net worth, meaning I owed $3 million on $4 million. That's not a bad equity position at all. I had a lot of short-term notes because I was doing flips before there was Chip and Joanna to tell us how. And so I actually did it. I've owned over 2,000 pieces of property in my life, so I'm not inexperienced at this. And the bank got scared and called our notes. The second bank got wind we were in trouble and called our notes, and I had 120 days to come up with $1.2 million, and it was all in real estate, and I had no cash because I believed in leverage because that's what I had been taught by the get-rich-quick people. Does any of that sound familiar?
Yes, and I haven't bought it, but I have clients, and I don't want to counsel them incorrectly.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So here, let me tell you the end of the story, and then I'll tell you my answer, and so you understand the why to my answer. Okay, the end of the story was I went broke, spent 2.5 years of my life losing everything I owned. 1 year I made $250,000 at 27 years old. The next year my taxable income was $6,000. I spent the whole year selling everything to keep it from being foreclosed on. Still, some of it got foreclosed on, and at the end of the day, 2.5 years later, I was bankrupt. Because they were coming to take the baby furniture out of my house, and I was done with them. Okay? Now, that's the end of my story. However, the other part of the story was there was a guy named Robert Allen who would have been on TikTok today if he were still a thing. And he wrote a book called Nothing Down, and he famously would be dropped into any city without his wallet and buy a house with no identification or credit of any kind within 48 hours. There's a goober out there or two doing that on TikTok right now, modeling after him, okay? And so he would do this. I remember watching him do it in Chicago. He did 48 hours. He bought 3 houses, nothing down, okay? And he did this. His next book was called Creating Wealth. He went all over America starting real estate clubs called Acre. And each of these clubs were to feed him leads to buy more real estate, nothing down. I was in one of those clubs because I was buying nothing down. A bunch of us, ended up being 160 people in our investing club. Later, Robert Allen filed Chapter 11, bankruptcy. The whole thing caught up and took him out too. But anyway, of the guys, 130 of them or so in that club, now 30 years ago, the number of them that still own any rental real estate is about 6. The rest of them have gone broke. The 6 that still own it paid it off and got out of debt. They did not get rich doing this crap. No one makes it a decade doing this crap. It's crap. Don't do it. Was that unclear?
Very clear.
You walked into it, didn't you, Cecilia?
No,
Cecilia,
you're the person to answer this question.
I'm curious, what is
honored.
driving you toward this? Are you not great financially?
No, I took a little course called Financial Peace University, and I got debt free, paid off my mortgage, paid off my children's student loans with my husband.
No, but what's making you just all the people doing it that are wanting you to do this?
No, I'm trying. I have very much ignored all that clamor. So I did want to diversify my portfolio.
Until you asked me a question about leveraging lines of credit to go buy real estate, you ignored it.
Well, that's why I'm talking to you, is because I haven't done anything foolish.
I know, but I'm just saying.
No plan on it.
Yeah. I mean, what was it that made you think that was even a good idea? That's what George is asking.
Well, I guess my question was, had something changed in the world's financial picture that all of a sudden?
No, nothing
everybody
changes.
This is a way to get around stuff. You know, my dad lived some of what you're talking about as well. He bought, land he couldn't afford, and hoped to hold on to it, thinking it's going to turn around and I'm going to make gazoodles on it because a builder's going to want it. And 20 years later, that had not yet happened. He died before he saw any of that happen. So
I will tell you the other part of the end of the story, the end of the end of the end of the story. After I went broke, we started saving money and investing, and I used some of that money to buy a piece of real estate cash, and then I used some of that income to buy another piece of real estate cash. And then in 2008, when everything dove down, I had a big pile of cash, and I bought a bunch of stuff for 15 cents on the dollar. Today, I own probably $450, $500 million worth of real estate. It's all paid for, and I never borrowed a dime on any of it. They ain't taking this one. This one's mine. Me and God, we're managing this. No bankers involved.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires. To learn more about how to plan for retirement, visit RamseySolutions.com/retire or click the link in the show notes. Ramsey Solutions is a paid non-client promoter of participating pros. Learn more at RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor.